Hello, welcome back everyone to another episode of Inside Sports Talk with Johanna-Rosalye, myself, and my amazing, wonderful, amazing co-host PLR. How are you today?
I don't think I can live up to all that. There was two wonderfuls and two amazing. That's a lot to live up to.
Right?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am great. For the most part, if we can just, get some sports back a little bit and back in our lives, then it'll be a little bit better.
You're not lying. Hey, as I told Ed Cole, there's always KBO. Can't fail with Korean baseball. When in doubt, KBO everything.
We know that. We both know that that's not enough. We need more than that.
Yeah, but you got your KBO. You can't argue with the KBO.
Yeah,
no. No, I'm with you. This weekend on the four-letter, it's the Johnsonville ACL Cornhole Championships from South Bend, Indiana.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Is that better?
You never go wrong with that.
Okay, well, I'm trying. Work with me.
Or you can always watch some good classic championship games too on ESPN.
Yeah, but you know how that ends. We don't know if Willard beat Steven at Cornhole yet. We don't know their seedings. We don't know.
There you do have a point.
All right, I'm just letting you know. I'm just trying to help.
Yeah, right? And about not knowing, and we still are going to go without knowing, hopefully not for not too long, and the league can get it together, is baseball. And they've been trying to come to an agreement, and they just shut down and did not accept the offer. So at this point, it's just the end of the first week of June almost, and it's supposed to have an agreement at the end of May if we want to see a baseball season, and still nothing. So their chances of having a season is pretty much slim now.
You know what baseball is, and forgive this analogy, but I'm going to say it because we're all grown here. Baseball is like when in the middle of the night you should get up and go to the bathroom, but instead you just pee on yourself for no reason. That's baseball. They know they need to get up and get this done, but for whatever reason, they just won't do it. And they're just, I'm at the point where I think they're just lazy now, because it's easier to haggle than it is to get stuff done. It's easier to fight than to just someone be the bigger person and make up. And they can be, and we've said it before, they could be the only sport. They could have the entire spotlight. And now they do have the entire spotlight again, but it's for all the wrong reasons. And Johanna, I firmly believe there are, and this, I've talked to a couple people, that there are a couple small market teams that really don't want baseball back this year, because without the fans in the seats, they will actually lose more money by playing games than not playing them at all and saving on salaries. And so for that, they don't even want it back. So I'm starting to believe that that's more of the issue than anything.
Yeah, true there, but I think one of the things, MLB is trying to fight for a season too, is like to have more to lose without a season than actually having a season. Yes, the ownerships, the players or whatnot, the franchise, those individual ones may have some, to lose, yes, it may probably be a couple, but at the same time, like you said, there's just an opportunity for baseball to have the spotlight, to showcase the sport, showcase the game, showcase the players, and we know that in other times and other situations, baseball is pretty much what brings people together. It's one of the few sports, not that the other sports don't, but it's just, baseball has that, that power to just bring everyone together like 9/11 did, and with the situation we have with not only the pandemic, but with the situation we're seeing right now with the protests after the unfortunate situation. We all know it. Oh my gosh, his name just escaped me. Help me out here.
For George Floyd.
Floyd, yes, thank you.
Yep.
It has that opportunity to just have that solidarity, but they're just losing so much opportunity and so much chance of so many things. And at the same time, it's like if baseball doesn't return, they have more, I think they have more to lose, not only money-wise, but, we're already hearing, and it's being said time and time again, not only this year, but just even before this year, that it's, it's dying out. And I think if they don't have a season this year, it's more of a chance that the sport, is going to lose more than just money.
I agree with you 100%. But I think those small market owners are willing to take that risk and save the money and say, you know what, because of all the civil unrest, because of COVID, we can hide behind that. And we won't take the hit that, normally we probably would have taken, because there's so many extenuating circumstances right now. Maybe the masses will forgive us. And I think that's what they're banking on.
Hopefully, hopefully it doesn't come back to bite them in the ass.
Oh, you just cussed.
I did. Let me say it nicely. But they have a lot to work through and a lot to get through. But I think one of the mistakes that occurred is bringing money to the table up front. Is I think what hurt them.
I was going to say I think both sides are full of crap, because the players knew they weren't going to get that 114 games passed. They knew that. I mean, there's not even enough calendar to do that.
No, it's way out of, it's like too much of a high expectation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
and
honestly,
and
I'm almost
the only
past
league that can get their shit together.
It is. I mean, basketball has found a way. Football is pretending like nothing is happening. They're on a whole nother tip. They're just pretending.
I love it.
Nothing's happening.
I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, we'll be good in September. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. So they're just pretending. So, which I find hilarious. And then basketball, they've come up with a plan. The NHL's come up with a plan. They just haven't given us a date. They haven't done any dates, which makes me a little worried, because how good is the plan if you don't have any dates yet? But I think they'll get all that together too.
So let me ask you this: what does MLB? What can MLB take and learn from the NHL, from the NBA, in bringing the sport back, bringing the season back? I know it's in NBA and NHL in a little bit different situation, being that they've already had, a season, somewhat of a season, and they're adjusting to what's left and playoffs and whatnot. But still, what can they take from that?
That's a good question. I really don't know what baseball can take from it. Maybe the fact that they should work more in a partnership type with their players, and maybe the union, they keep hearing they're the strongest union ever. Maybe they need to let that mantra go just a little bit. I honestly, that's a great question. I don't know what they can learn because for whatever reason, they never seem to learn it. They never really quite get it right, and I don't know why they have such a hard time with that, but they never get it right. I mean, it's the only sport that had a strike that canceled that in recent history anyway, that canceled their championship because they couldn't get it right. So I don't know. You would think that would have been every lesson they would have needed right there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I don't know what baseball needs to do.
So they need to do something. That's all I know.
Yeah, they need to do something for sure. They need to do something for sure, without a doubt. But I've given up hope that we see baseball this year. To be perfectly honest with you, I all this time I thought for sure we would, and now I just don't believe it.
Yeah, as each day goes on, I'm less and less and less hopeful. And I like to be an optimist.
Yep.
But I'm seeing that them each and every day that this goes on, and at this point, to even have to for the players, for the league to have the teams play half a season, even that's even pushing it at this moment.
Yeah, but the calendar is the enemy right now. The calendar isn't the friend. The calendar is the enemy. So we're running out of clock. I mean, so let's say they come up. Ken Kendrick said they had to come up with something by next week, and he made it seem like a hard date without it being a hard date. So let's say they come up with something next week around June 12th. Let's just throw that as a random date out there. So if they come up with something June 12th and they can agree on the games, then they got to start putting a plan in place, and they got to get everybody ready, especially pitchers. You got to get their arms back. That's not something that you can do in a day. That's something that's going to take a little bit of time. So let's say they then can get everyone in to some type of 2-week, 3-week, quick spring train and get everybody back by July 15th, 16th. Even if you do that, you got to have your playoffs starting at the end of September, October, because if you're going to have everything in a city that they actually play in, how are you going to play baseball in late November? And let's say it happens to be New York or Chicago or Boston or Detroit or Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. These are all cold places that don't have domes. So how are you going to do that? Then how are you going to get a plan together, unless they've been working behind the scenes to have a plan together? LA still isn't set up for anything, so you're going to spring train in cities that actually have teams. All your California teams, where are they going to spring train at? Because you can't do anything, really. I mean, there's let me rephrase it. There's a limited amount of stuff that you can do. Hence why we have the NBA doing a bubble in Orlando, and the NHL targeting like maybe 6 cities that they could play in. So what do the Giants train? What do the A's train? What about the Dodgers? What about the Angels? So there's so much that goes into this, and they haven't even gotten to the part where they can even decide how many games they're going to play and how they're going to put a calendar together. So I'm really starting to believe we're not seeing baseball until next year.
Yeah, and I like you made a good point there, and I think that's one of the things where it has come back to bite them. And being able to come to an agreement is having a plan in place, how it's also all going to work out, where all the having a schedule, having how the testing and this is it a city or city